Nate Ryan, USA Today. Brian, following up on the attendance, during the famous realignment news conference 8 years ago, your father said he didn't like seeing empty seats at racetracks, and that was a big factor in making the schedule. So in light of some of these tracks that are struggling, such as Dover having 3 straight smaller crowds and including, appearing barely half full on Sunday, where does NASCAR stand on that? Could you still strip tracks of races for weak attendance, or do those tracks get some dispensation as the economy recovers?
Well, my father was pretty forward-thinking, but even he, I'm not sure, saw the financial crisis that we had in 07 and 08 come. And so that tends to modify your thinking about how you view these things. Look, Dover had a tremendously bad weather forecast. It's a miracle that event, and I'm not making just total excuses here, but it's a miracle on Saturday and Sunday that they got the races off at all. So there were no shows. There was certainly no walk-up. They didn't get any help from the weather. We will take a look at it because he was right. We certainly don't like to see empty seats. We like to see as many fans enjoying this great competition as possible. But we're also realistic that some things are going to take time. There's not many sports that aren't aren't being affected in one way or the other in attendance, and they're having to do a lot of things. So are we. So are the tracks to be sensitive. And then we've got high gas prices now that are upon us, and that's obviously another factor for our fans to consider. So. We certainly don't want to see empty seats. We'll be working with tracks to get the best dates possible, and we'll go from there.
Let's go with Marty Smith, Viv Bernstein, and then Joe Menzer. Go ahead, Marty.
Marty Smith, ESPN. Brian, it seems like this year especially, but late last year too, mid last year, about that time, there's been a new focus by NASCAR generally, you guys, not necessarily the industry, but by the powers that be in the company, to embrace what NASCAR was, because for a time there was a shift to try to go be something else. And how much have you guys talked about that, embracing the history and being what it is?
Well, I wouldn't agree with that. I don't think there was a time when we didn't think the best racing in the world was important, or that our core fan wasn't important. That just wouldn't be accurate. I mean, obviously, we have a job to do, which is to satisfy the core fan in every way we possibly can, and we try to do that. And we also are trying to be appealing in ways to new fans. And sometimes, there is a different path that you have to be on, slightly different, to accomplish both things. So, but you're never off of one path for long. And they're never very far apart. So we're focused on, being our history is we couldn't be more important. The Hall of Fame being exemplary proof of that this weekend, or rather on Monday, and through the week. So we'll always keep our eye on the ball. But on the other hand, we're reacting to social media. We're reacting to the digital media landscape that's changing quickly, and most of you in this room know it better than I. We're reacting to to how young people in particular are taking in their favorite sports, or learning about their favorite sports. It's very different than it was, say, 10 years ago, say 5 years ago. And so, you just can't have your head down when all those things are going on your way to trying to grow a fan base.
Let's go with Viv, Joe, and then Claire B.
Okay, Viv Bernstein, New York Times. Brian, it's no longer unusual for a Formula One driver to come to NASCAR, and I'm wondering what it means to have this influx. Does it matter to NASCAR? Is there a benefit to it? Is there something about it that maybe detracts from the fan base?
Oh, not at all. I don't think it detracts at all. I think it shows you the level of competition that the best drivers in the world want to be a part of, and that's been going on, as you said, for some time. And Juan Pablo probably being the head of the line in that regard. So no, I think it's it's great. Some will have more success than others, but the idea that they look at this style of racing and level of competition on par with anybody in the world, that's exactly what we would expect.
Let's go with Joe Menzer, Claire B., and then Dustin. Go ahead, Joe.
Joe Menzer, NASCAR.com. Brian, I wonder if you could assess how you think the new points is working out so far in light of the fact that drivers now have to pick one series to run a championship in. Is there any consideration you see giving into the future to maybe running an all-star type event for nationwide or trucks?
I don't know about an all-star race. Has been talked about and discussed before. I think the points I assume you're speaking about the nationwide restrictions for the regulars to race for the championship. I think that'll come into a better play for us later in the year. I think it's added something, no question, to the events. I think you're going to see us take a slow, steady look at making sure that that we're getting the most out of the nationwide series, and which needs to be analogous to, say, college football, and being able to build some stars that come from Saturday to Sunday for us. And this was a big step, but it's not going to be the only step, and we'll be looking at ways to enhance the young drivers and their talents and new owners, for that matter, in the nationwide and other national series that don't just get this, preparation of cup drivers to the point where it just homogenizes both Sunday and Saturday and doesn't deliver those benefits that we'd like to see with showcasing young drivers and young talent and young owners.